Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of KJ's One Way Ticket. Hi, I'm KJ, I'm your host. Welcome back to the 27th floor of my condo here in Jatian Beach, Thailand. We're back inside today because we got a lot of construction going on outside today, so it's really a lot of noise. So I decided we're gonna do this inside today. So we're gonna go ahead and get through this. First of all, thank you for all the love with my new videos going out. Thank you. Yeah, KJ, I do a little thing. I do that just a little bit. So, but I'm glad you enjoyed the video. We got more. Do not miss my upcoming video, KJ Goes to Way City. That's coming very shortly. We're just spending a lot of time working on it. It's a great video. Hey, I get separated from the group and actually start this journey to Way City on my own with my driver. And we getting into a little thing there. Not to drop all the hints, but hey, you don't want to miss this video. It's a great video, and that's coming soon. And also, guys, we have not forgotten about KJ's destination, Thailand, the original destination. Here's what's happened. I know we haven't seen some of these videos. What happened is the SD card with a lot of my initial videos when I first got to Thailand, well, it's gone, okay? It got lost actually when I was in Vietnam. Unfortunately, I put that in a bad location and it's gone. So that's why we were slow in getting some of this video out. But what we have just recently discovered is we have recovered some of this video because fortunately a lot of the video was backed up on a cloud drive that I wasn't quite aware that this information was there. So we have recovered 70% of that. So guys, it's getting ready to drop very shortly. We're going to go ahead and first close out this Vietnam series, and then we're going to get back to KJ Destination Thailand, and we've got a lot to go there. I mean, we flew from New York to Hong Kong to Bangkok, and we've got all that finished. We've got first class coverage of Fight with Cathay Pacific, which is a great flight. So that's all covered. So all that's upcoming. So please subscribe, comment, let me know what you think so far. But please reserve your seat by hitting that button right there with that finger, just like that. Just hit that subscribe button and have your seat reserved because we've got a lot of things coming, and that's what we're going to go over. So the videos are coming, so definitely expect that. But guys, KJ's One Way Ticket, we have a schedule for the holiday season. Yes, we do. Coming up shortly, we will be going on location to Bangkok, back to Bangkok. We're going back to Bangkok. We're going back to Bangkok. We're going back to Bangkok. Oh, why are we going back to Bangkok? Well, for the Bangkok Light Festival. Absolutely. So that runs through the 9th of November, all the way through, I believe, the 28th of November. We're going to be there the 15th of November, and we're going to be there getting coverage, checking out the great show. What it is a light show that goes along the river in Bangkok, which a lot of great light visuals and great things for photographers and drone people like myself. So we definitely look forward to that. Also, of course, while we in Bangkok, we gonna do Bangkok. You know what we do here. That's right. We're gonna find us a party. We're gonna first find a great place to eat, and then we're gonna find us a great place to go party. So we're gonna check out Bangkok, guys. I've actually been there like 3 times, but I have yet to really do Bangkok. So we're gonna do Bangkok. So that's coming up, guys, on the 15th. Then after that, we have November 28th, we have the Pattaya Fireworks Festival, which is the annual fireworks festival here in Pattaya. So definitely got that. Not only do we have the festival, but guys, KJ's One Way Ticket, we've been invited to our first yacht party. So yes, we will be doing the fireworks from Pattaya Bay, exclusively from a luxurious lot, partying at the same time. You're not gonna get that nowhere but KJ's One Way Ticket. To get your seat for that party, guess what? That's right, that's that finger action again. Hit that subscribe button, folks. Do that. It's really easy. You can actually, it's like a workout. You don't really need to hit it once, but sometimes you got to get the calisthenics out of that arm, whatever. But yeah, hit that button, reserve your seat for your yacht party. It's my first. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go. All right, we're not done yet. Oh, did you think we were done? No. After that, we have the holiday season, of course, Christmas. And yes, I will be selling it with my new Thailand friends. A lot of the folks that you have met that went to Vietnam, we are getting together for Christmas. It's going to be a great thing because a lot of us will be celebrating Christmas for the first time here in Thailand. So we're going to do it together, guys, and we're going to share that with you. So definitely have that on your calendar. Christmas Eve, Thailand. I'm going to get back with you on the location of this. I'm still working out the location, but we're going on location again, guys. We're traveling and we're going on location, and it's going to be a great time. So we got that also coming. So that's Christmas right here at KJ's One Way Ticket. And man, we going to party. And guys, there is real so that we can all celebrate together, as a family, as a channel. So put that on your calendar. Guys, we're going to be busy. So now that we have that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get into our show today. Basically, what we're going to do is kind of recover a couple, not recover, but actually redo or relook at a couple topics that we've already talked about. Why? Well, I like to think or talk about things as they become relevant. And once again, we had some issues, so we're going to discuss it. So the first topic I want to go back to is the safety that we talked about, being safe in Thailand. And we're talking about that because, as you remember, I was talking about the incident where a gentleman lost his life actually right down the road from us here. Unfortunately, a 40-year-old Black American and 31-year-old Thai woman were basically deceased in an accident. Involved a motorcycle accident down the street. So we had spoken about that. Well, shortly after that, your boy, we had our own little mishap, unfortunately. Very minor, very nothing, but definitely a learning lesson that I want to go ahead and transfer. I was out the other night with a friend of mine who has a scooter, and we were leaving the restaurant, headed back to the condo, and I was a passenger, and I had my take-home bags and everything in hand. And we were kind of going in the wrong direction, so she tried to back up and go in the other direction. And what we've learned is you can't back up with somebody on the back of the scooter, because what happens is you're just, and we ended up on the middle of the road with the scooter on top. Now, fortunately, this was a little, early, it was late, and so it was an area of no traffic, and it wasn't an issue, and just a little, I actually got away with actually no scrapes and anything, fortunately, and she was okay too, maybe just a little growing pull, whatever. But so here's the lesson. So what I wanted to do is kind of recap that, because I had no help, so foul on me. And so I want to do, because once again, this is an issue here with the Black travelers. I'm not going to say an issue, but this is something that's we're seeing in the news lately here, is the scooter accidents and fatalities of these. So what I'm trying to do is just to try, if you come over, you want to get a scooter, because hey, you might want to do that. We're just going to kind of briefly go over some things that what you need to do as a foreigner coming to Thailand to get a scooter. First of all, it does require licensing. An international license will do. It has to have a motorcycle endorsement attached to that. And the reason for that is for insurance purposes. So if you do get an international license, you do want to have a motorcycle endorsement attached to that. That way you make sure that your insurance company will be able to cover that. Now, the other point is helmets are required by law here. So you can be ticketed as a driver or as a passenger if you are caught out of helmet. Now, also, just to let you know, they do set up checkpoints throughout Pattaya and Thailand overall, just not here. This is something they do. They are constant checkpoint where they're checking exactly for that. So the fine can be stiff, and so that's something you definitely want to avoid. You could do that by purchasing a helmet. Now, I did look to research to see that a helmet's going to run you approximately about 4,800 baht in terms of getting a helmet. So, it's a little pricey. That's, I think, approximately about $241. So that can be a little pricey, but, when it comes to your safety and your noggin, hey, listen, I'm going to go out and get me a helmet, guys. So next time I'm on a scooter, I will have a helmet. So, also keep in mind that driving conditions are very different over here. You have to be a lot more cautious. Everything is opposite over here, so you definitely want to keep in mind and be aware of that. So now when it comes to insurance, you want to ensure, as we mentioned, that you have proper insurance, and that insurance needs to cover scooter accidents. Many policies require that you be properly licensed for coverage, so you definitely want to look into that. And also, just to mention, you can obtain your international national license at your local DMV in the United States, you can look into that. It doesn't require any additional tests, a processing fee, and just to go down there and get the actual license. So if that's something you're interested in doing when you do get here, I highly suggest definitely covering these issues, getting your license and your insurance issues out of the way. Now, in terms of renting scooters, you want to only rent from reputable places, because you will find there is a ton of places. Everybody's renting scooters. I mean, you can't go really a half a block, to be honest with you, and not find somebody renting scooters. But I think it's important that you deal with somebody with a reputable, history on dealing with scooters, so that you don't have any type of issues there. Also, you want to make sure that you stick to your speed limits, and they do have speed cameras, and fines can be strict. So you definitely want to be aware of that. Also, in terms of local rules, driving is on the left side of the road in Thailand, okay? And you also, as a scooter operator, you do want to carry emergency information on you. So in case, there is something unfortunate that happens and that you can't respond, that they have emergency information, how to contact your relatives or, personal contact. They have some type of contact information if they need to use that. Fortunately, hopefully that doesn't happen. So yeah, that's the things, guys, that we want to think about when you want to come over here and get a scooter. They could be fun. You can get around quick, but at the same time, you have to be very mindful. And that, I will say that, Thailand is the 5th deadliest place to drive in the world. So, I know a lot of people, they kind of restrict their driving to keep it like in the beach areas and things of that nature. But, you're going to have to figure out your own level of skill and, adjust to that. So important thing, guys, is to be safe and obey the law, okay? And I say obey the laws because what you will see here is a lot of people not obeying the law, especially at light. Red lights, people don't necessarily stay at red light. As soon as they think they can go, a lot of people will go through red. But, you, like I said, you want to be the one to follow the rules. I wouldn't do what other people do here, follow what I wouldn't do that. I'll definitely know the rules and just stick with the rules and don't worry about what other folks are doing. Just make sure you obey them, okay? So, all right, so enough of that. That's safety. It's about safety. It's about getting home. If you're coming here on a short-term trip, you want to get home healthy. And that's the bottom line, is always getting back home healthy. So that's what we're trying to help you do here on KJ's One Way Ticket. It's about traveling. It's about exploration, but it's also about staying safe. All right, so that's it on that. Now, we're going to kick it on over to our next topic, which was also a rehash, okay? And this topic is we're going to go back to, in terms of being Black travelers or people of color traveling abroad, there have been, just in conversations that I have, I'm actually in a location where I get to talk to a lot of people who just recently got here. And, a lot of times when I'm eating, I'm in that kind of, one of my restaurants have kind of put me in the kind of an ambassador greeting role for a lot of new folks, particularly who look like us. So I hear a lot of folks who come and just get here and a lot of their concerns and, what they're thinking about, what their thought process is when they're landing here in Thailand, and the things that are happening back in the state. The one topic or conversation that we are constantly having here is about some of these things that we're going to talk about. And this is, I'm not going to say it's about race, but I think we can say this is about Black travelers travel, okay? These are some of the things that we as Black people who are traveling abroad may run into. Now, these may sound like obstacles, but they're really not. What these are we're basically giving you some pointers and things to be prepared for. These are, in my opinion, no reasons not to travel. These are just reasons for you to prepare yourself as a traveler of color. Let's say, just call it that. So one of the things we want to talk about at the top here is so we're going to talk about a few things here in terms of Black travelers who are traveling abroad. Now, I'm using this in regards to Thailand, but I believe all of these points that we're going to discuss could be used in any country that you plan on going abroad, okay? These are kind of common sense things that you might encounter as a person of color. Where did we get these points? We got these points from ChatGPT. So we did some research and got these points from ChatGPT. So we're going to go ahead and use these as our points of action. And I've gone through these and I totally can agree with all of these at this point. And we got some personal points about all of these that we can apply. So starting off, our first point is racial profiling or discrimination, especially in countries with less diversity. Okay, so that's the obvious one. I think when we talk about being a person of color and you're traveling abroad, is that, you know, there will be people out there with their... All right, so the next issue is, and this is probably the biggest issue, when I first landed in Thailand and I spoke to my first fellow black traveler abroad, this was actually the very first thing that I heard when I asked him about Thailand. This is a guy, Chris, I met, a traveler up in Bangkok, and the first thing he said was hair care products. That's right, hair care and skin care products is definitely something that, as you talk to other people of color, black travelers around here and Pattaya, whatever, everybody's looking for some hair care products. Not me, but yeah, that's a thing. Skin care products. I actually know people who are looking at that as a business fit. But yes, that is definitely a challenge when you're traveling internationally. So once again, I don't have the hair problem, but in terms of me, my challenges are really with the lotion and soap. Actually, I do like the soap that I have found. I kind of dig the soap, but you know, whether or not it's the best for my skin, I don't know. But I'll say this though, I was sitting in the bank one day and I was sitting next to an older Thai lady and we both had on shorts, and I was just noticing how our skin was pretty close. I mean, it was actually the same. So I don't know how different our skins are from theirs, but I was like, I almost saw identical skin sitting to an older Thai woman one day in the bank. Noticed that. I think she noticed it too. We both looked at each other and smiled. But so that could be a challenge. So once again, nothing that you can't look around. There's always places, and there are networks of black entrepreneurs here in Thailand now, so you can perhaps find alternatives and with a little bit of research and networking, resolve your problem. Because I do know that there are people trying to get that resolved for you as we speak. So now the other issue, point number 4, is lack of representation in local media or marketing, making it harder to find places where they feel welcome. So basically what we're saying here is you won't be represented when you're watching TV or any type of commercials or anything. You're not going to no longer see yourself. So it is, some people might feel a certain way about that, not seeing yourselves being representative in the mass media that you watch on a daily basis. You're just not there. You're not there at all. So is that a problem? Not for me, but because number one, I'm not watching TV, so that's not really an issue for me. I don't need to see somebody else do something in order for me to go buy it or think that it might be appropriate for me. Might be for other people, but that is an issue and we respect it. So that is an issue. So just don't expect to see yourselves once you leave the States. I mean, or hear yourselves. But I go to restaurants, I go to bars, and I definitely hear my music. So there's that part that you can always feel back, because R&B is a thing, rap is a thing. You go up and down, walk down the street, you'll hear your music, and that's comforting. All right, so point number 5, stereotypes or curiosity about black people leading to unwanted attention or even touching of hair. I think this point kind of maybe duplicates the other point, but it's a curiosity. It is a curiosity. I'm definitely one. I get watched everywhere I go. I'm starting to feel it now. Actually, a couple of people have now my videos have started kind of circulating here, so I've gotten that a couple of times now. So now it's you know, you gotta, I mean, really when you travel abroad and you're black, you gotta be comfortable with yourself and understand that you will receive attention that you might not normally receive in the States. So, you know, just kind of be aware of that and don't, you know, not necessarily have to be too aggressive with it. Just understand that, once again, people aren't used to seeing us. You know, it's not a common thing. So, you know, try to take that with a grain of salt, okay? And once again, when it comes to the touching of the hair, you know, that's personal space. We handle that in the appropriate way that we handle it. Visa or immigration challenges in some countries where they may be biased in the process. You know, what I can say about that particular point is stop, think about what's happening in the United States and immigration. There you go. I don't know how else to kind of present that. You know, now you're on the other side of that coin. So look at it this way. At some point, Thailand might say, we don't want expats or foreigners in our country anymore. You know what? If they make that decision, we have to abide by it. You know, so that can happen. That can happen. Now, they're going to say it's because you're black. No, they're going to say you're American, you know, and you got to go. But, you know, once again, we have to be prepared for those type of biases. Now, if you're traveling short term, this is not an issue. This is particularly for your long term folks. All right. And then our last issue is finding black owned businesses or safe spaces can sometimes be difficult, especially in areas with few black communities. So yes, that's an issue. However, what I will say on that last point here in Pattaya, we have a very strong community that's definitely here. It's getting stronger and it's forming as we speak. But there are networks that are available, such as the Green Book Network, which you can connect with other black expats within your area. I highly recommend these type of resources. I just mentioned the Green Book, but I do aware there are other networks out there. The Green Book is essentially Pattaya and Bangkok black expats that communicate. I see more activity from the Pattaya side, not to say anything about Bangkok, but I do see a little bit more on that end, but on our end. But it is a resource, and to me, that's the resource. You know, if you want to stay connected with what's happening in your location in regards to your community, these are the type of resources that you want to tap into and utilize to your full advantage. You're going to find out exactly what type of cultural events are happening in and around town, which is definitely a way for you to stay connected with your culture. You know, it's an opportunity. You know, a lot of folks here, they want to stay connected with the culture. A lot of people came here, didn't travel half the way around the world to just always be with their culture. And I understand that part too, because I'm here to explore. You know, I'm here to learn a new culture. So, but you want to know that your culture is there for when you need it. And that's a good thing, man. I mean, you know, to be able to go and just, you know, I'm bounce exploring too, and I'm on the Thai side, and man, this great, and I'm learning, I'm loving it. But you know, it's good to also know that I can come back and chill and, you know, hear some music, have some conversation, and get caught up on what's happening back in the States. Man, there's nothing wrong with that either. So community is definitely something that when I came to Thailand, actually Thailand has been everything that I thought it would be. But the one thing that really caught me by surprise, and which has deepened my resolve in terms of staying, is the community. There is a community here, and it's evolving, and I am starting to definitely feel part of that community. So it's definitely kind of like, as we discussed, maybe even last night, it's kind of the cherry on top. So yeah, it's a good thing. So yeah, and once again, guys, these are points in Thailand. If you go to Philippines, wherever, Nicaragua, you know, there's a expat community that I would suggest that you tie into and look into it. Use your tools to look into it. You know, we've got, you know, all this right at the tip of our hands now, along with AI and ChatGPT. You know, there's a lot of information out there. Use it. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this show, guys. And just to send you off with these parting words, guys. Hey, let's remember, let's keep exploring and let's keep inspiring. But more importantly, remember this is your planet to explore. So with those words, guys, safe travels, and we'll see you on our next adventure.